Hi, welcome back to the Game of Choice. I did try to upload this video months ago, and for some reason, maybe it wasn't the right time to share, but it wouldn't upload. I do believe I uploaded the picture of this in the comments or the posting section of YouTube, and hopefully you can see this a little bit, but I'll try and pin it in the top corner somewhere if I can figure out how to do that, because I'm a little bit not tech savvy. So this is a remembrance that I had nearly a couple of years ago now, and for those of you that don't know me, which is most people, I've been living my life for the last 3 years, well, continuously, but very much for the last 3 years, in a way that enables me to deprogram my unconscious mind. Some people would like to call it, I just call it the mind. For me, the mind is the matrix. I separate the mind and the brain. The brain is, for me, my definition, just to clarify, is that it's a receiver and a transmitter. The mind holds the programs that we have been conditioned with throughout life, that have developed through our experience in this realm. And experience is broad. It can be positive, it can be negative, but generally the limiting beliefs that we hold are from what we would call negative experiences. I don't necessarily believe there are any negative experiences, but that's how the human emotional body perceives it. So I'll just try and give you a close-up. Might be back to front, actually. I'm not sure. But I'll run through this. So essentially, before we jumped in this game, I believe this is a game. Yes, the game got hijacked, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to work on how we get out of it, okay? So before we came in the game, we were a whole harmonic version of this individualized self, as a spirit, as a maybe embodied, maybe not, right? But we were a separate consciousness from all there is. And we chose to come in here and play this game. Some of us chose to come in here and play this game at this specific time in the evolution of the earth, in order to raise the consciousness and create a timeline in which the souls that have been trapped in here for a very long period of time could choose to release themselves from the matrix program, the inverted program. So how I receive this information is essentially we are becoming nothing to become everything. We're already it. We're already this harmonic version here. We always have been. We just forgot. And that's part of the game. So when we decided to come and play the Earth game, for whatever reason we decided to come here, there's many, experience being the primary one, but because it is an experience, everything is just an experience. It only has meaning if we choose to give it meaning, and we can choose to give it whatever meaning we like. So, and you may see my dog rustling around in the background there. Her name's Cleo. So when we chose to come in to this game, the Earth game, we gained a lens, which I call the mind. It's like a VR lens, right? Like, you can't play the game unless you have the mind. The mind is what creates the perception of things being solid and things being real. Without it, we can't play. But when we first jumped in, the mind was clear. It wasn't distorted with beliefs, programs, trauma, wounds. It was just a clear lens You know, this is my body, this is a notebook, that's a camera. Clear. There was no association or beliefs associated with any of the things in here. And what happened is, over what we would perceive as time, linear time, which is a construct and is real within this experience, or we perceive it to be real. I think those of us that are increasing rapidly in our frequency are also noticing that there are very big differences in how we perceive time and how we experience time, and that's a whole nother video. So as we go through linear time and we're born into families and we, you know, have whatever trauma is associated with that, and if you're extremely lucky you don't have that much, but most of us do. And then, you know, we go through adolescence, and then we go through young adulthood, and we collect all these experiences, right, over our linear lifetime. Some of these experiences have been programmed within the inverted matrix, so that would be things like education, how the education system is it's a program in itself, right? It's a whole nother thing. The medical systems, the governments, the etc., right? They're all systems and constructs within the inverted matrix system that have inevitably influenced all of us in some way, shape or form from birth, right? Even down to the fact that most of us were born in a hospital, right? Like the medical system right there, us being birthed in a totally unnatural way and exposed to trauma as soon as we literally arrive here. It's crazy the extent to which the inverted matrix has influenced all of us, and unconsciously at that, until we become conscious. And so that's what this process is about. So we have past experiences which form beliefs, right? Beliefs around safety and security, like the monetary system, there's a big one right there, right? Like most of us stay in these particular ways of living because we believe we're keeping ourselves safe. It's a survival program, right? And a scarcity program right now in the world. Look what's going on there. It's a crazy shit show out there, right? Like it's just totally got to the point of ridiculous. And without making light of the negative things that are going on, it is all designed to activate our survival programs, our survival instincts, and our scarcity programs. And so this is a big test that's going on for humanity at the moment. We can choose to loop around and give those programs power, or we can choose to realize our own sovereignty and our ability to create what we need when we need it, and to form community and to live in our natural, authentic way in which we will find that we do have all the things that we need, right? Because that's our natural state of being. Our natural state of being is this harmonic creational version. We're literally God's source in a body experiencing a game. And these programs that have they've been woven. This is how I've seen it. It's literally woven into the fabric of our energetic body and then expressed physiologically through the mind and through our actions, right? So we've got trauma, generational trauma. So this is trauma that's passed down through the generations. So for example, I can't swim in water that I can't see through. I've never had a bad experience with water. My mum has that same fear. So this is just a simple example of generational trauma, right? It's held within the DNA and passed on through the generations. Yep, so collective programming, religions, the monetary system, cultures, etc., right? Then we've got identity, which is a really interesting one. Like, my name is Mel, but I'm not Mel, right? So just that simple program right there, that I am an individual that has a history, that identifies with this history, in itself is not true, right? But it influences how we operate moment to moment on a daily basis, which then recreates the version of reality that we're experiencing. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, we come in here, we gain a mind, right? The mind becomes distorted or polluted or influenced, is a more non-polarized way of saying it, by the experiences and programs that are woven within us from our experiences. And what happens here, so over time, incarnations is another one, we'll go into that another time, but an experience, our mind becomes like dirty, right? It becomes clouded. And so this clear lens that we were experiencing reality through, and that we are coming back to experiencing reality through, depending on the amount of work we want to do ourselves, has been, we're looking through a dirty lens. And so essentially, because reality is a mirror, like we're creating this reality that exists, that we're experiencing. If my lens is dirty, if my lens is holding limiting belief systems and trauma, I'm going to continue to project that into my reality. And I'm going to continue to loop around in that version of reality that reinforces those programs that I'm holding. And so this is the trick. And on this channel, this is what I'm going to be doing, is teaching this process. So how do we get back to a clear lens? What does that look like? Because it's tricky. It is tricky. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? And it takes a lot of dedication. So, yeah, the mind influences the thoughts, actions, and frequency of each being. It consistently creates versions of reality that reinforce itself. As reality loops, the person experiences similar or repeating themes, trauma, and experiences. So basically here, like, we've got to the point where the mind becomes fractured and out of balance. So the mind is now dictating what I'm experiencing based on what is woven within it. And I use woven because that's how I've seen it. It's like threads being woven through the energetic being that influence what I'm now projecting and experiencing. So where we are now is, and many people are already, well along this process, but there's many people that aren't, because we are essentially taught that we're not sovereign and that we're not creating this, which we are. And inevitably, the only way to engage this process back to the true us, the become nothing to become everything, becoming everything that you already are, the only way is through total radical self-responsibility. You have to take responsibility. That doesn't mean you're responsible for what other people do, though. You're not responsible for their behavior. You are responsible for, what am I holding within myself? What is woven within the fabric of me, within the fabric of my being, that is aligning me with this mirrored experience. And we can change all of it. And I will talk more and more as we go on about different experiences that, like, I've been using this and testing the field with this for years and years and years and years and years. This is the clarity that came through the remembrance of, and realizing that, oh my goodness, like, I've actually been doing this the whole time, right? So many of us are here. Many people are here at this point of going, like, what is this place? This doesn't feel right. Everything is just totally out of control. There's something inside me that says, this isn't it. There's more than this. There is more than just suffering, right? I can align myself with something better than this, right? And we can, even with everything that's going on in the world, we can totally, like, I mean, I'm sitting in far north Queensland in this beautiful garden with these beautiful birds, and, getting up in the morning and mucking around in the garden. We're getting ready to plant a whole heap of seeds. It's going to be this surrounded by beautiful people that we all help each other, and this is the kind of reality that we can individually create within this collective shit show that's going on at the moment, right? So when we get to this point of realization and we finally get uncomfortable enough to start going, how do I change this? How do I change it? This is the part it's tricky, because there is information out there, and obviously I'm going to be one of those people putting information out there of how to do this process, but it takes a lot of dedication. You know, you have to be dedicated and you have to learn how to be self-aware, which is a tricky one. So essentially, though, the process is we get to this point of realization of like, I don't want to be this uncomfortable anymore. I call it the pressure cooker. It's like, it's so uncomfortable that you've now got to a point where you're willing to go outside of your comfort zone, right? Like, I'm ready to drop whatever needs to be dropped, clear whatever needs to be cleared, like, you know, remove myself from relationships that are no longer healthy for me, all of those things. Because they're all the things that are required, you know, to get us out of these looping patterns. And the next video I do is going to be on coherence, which is literally the reverse engineering of this. So tune in for that one. I might even do it after this. So essentially what we're doing when we start to become the observer of the mind instead of thinking we are the mind, because we're not the mind, we can choose to start deprogramming the limiting and the totally detrimental thoughts, which then feed into our emotional body and then our actions, right? Thoughts, actions, emotions. This is what coherence is about, which I'll go into another video. But we can start to deprogram these things from the mind, and as we deprogram them, and it does take it takes dedication and it takes a little bit of what we would call time, total self-responsibility, we will see our reality shift. We will see the people in our reality shift, the environments in our reality shift. We will be able to manifest things that we need and that are beneficial to our particular soul journey as we need them, right? So as we are doing this, we're deprogramming the mind, we actually start to remember. So this is where my information comes from. It's not coming from something that I watched in a YouTube video or a book that I read. This is coming from direct remembrance. And when I say direct remembrance, what I mean is the difference between believing and knowing something is the experience of it, right? So when I remember something, I get the experiential knowledge of it. Like, I remember it. I've done it. I know it exists. There is no doubt there. This is the sort of thing that starts to come through. We start to remember things. We start to, some people call it downloads, right? Downloading, visions, etc., etc. People use different language, but essentially the essence of it is, it's a knowing. It's not a belief, it's a knowing. So as we start to deprogram this, we start to remember this. We start to remember it, and we start to get the energetic signature of it. And that is just the most powerful and potent thing, because once we can remember the frequency, the signature of something, we can hold that. We can hold it within our physical body. We can literally, that's our aim. We're going back there. We're not going back there. We are, well, essentially we are, but we're determined now to have that here. And that's our motivation. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us working through this process, is knowing that that's there, that we can literally align ourselves with the version of reality that is totally harmonic, and based on literally playing the original Earth game, the organic version that wasn't hijacked. It's right here. It is literally right here, you know. We just have to align to it, and it's only this constant being pulled back into thinking that the distortion is real. The distortion is not real, but how do we deprogram that? How do we get to a point where we can walk around every day and know that it's not real, right? Like onion layer by onion layer. That's how So I'm going to teach this. This is what I've been guided to teach, and it's also what I've been doing. And yeah, say hello. You're a good girl. Yes. Okay. Sit down here. Sit down. Good girl. So on that note, as we start to remember and we're peeling back layers, our physical reality is changing, you know. And this is what we're aiming for, full divine expression, which we already are. We're already that. We are already that. We've just been clouded by programs, clouded by trauma, clouded by conditioning, clouded by negative, what we would call negatively polarized experiences, you know. That's not what this game was originally designed for. It was designed to forget. We were to forget and then remember. But the inversion and the distortion and the hijacking made the remembering part extremely difficult. So here we are now in this just beautiful time. The energies are here to support what, you know, took me years to do, people can do extremely quickly. And I know people that, you know, they awoke, activated years and years and years and years and years before me. Years. And, you know, just the other day, my friend who is this is her property, you know, who's one of those people said, you know, and there's Mel, and she just like activated. I've been doing a lot of other work on myself, but in terms of figuring out what this place is, it's you know, it's relatively recent compared to most people. You know, I'm talking 6 years, 7 years, right? Which is recent compared to some people that have been awake for 30 odd years, which would have absolutely driven me crazy. So kudos to all of you holding the light and holding the field for that period of time, because it takes a special person to do that, and we appreciate you. You know, we really do. But, you know, we can leaps and bounds because the energy is here, and all of us are designed from a soul perspective to experience this in our own way, in our own journey. And this information won't resonate with everybody, you know, and there'll be little side tracks that people take. To me, this place is just, it's a game. It's a game. And everything is true and nothing is true all at the same time. So it's really, from my knowing, from my remembrance, it's don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by all the stuff, because it's all in here. And if you can stay focused in here, you'll remember it yourself. And we're all walking it. All of those that choose are walking it. And it's tricky, and it takes effort, and it can be really confusing. But the more you do it, the more beautiful it gets. And you just go, holy, like, wow. I'm so glad I chose this. So for all of those people that are sitting in discomfort and suffering at the moment, many people are, just know you can change it. Only you can change it, because it is an inside job. It is totally an inside job, but you can change it. You really can. Okay? I'll see you soon.